I'd like to introduce the new product from Playeasy Experiences. It's called Compass. And it's able, and the tagline here is pointing visitors to the soul of your destination. It encompasses all of the website elements, all of the AI, everything that we have into one easy to share package that you can put on event organizers' websites, in your experience, on your leisure travel websites, and hits all 5 of the major items that we feel like are the most important. The CMS integration, you have full control, the 360 experience, event engagement, and in-market engagement. And so with that, I'll go ahead and I'll let John kick off the demo here so you guys can all take a look at the new product called Compass.
Thank you, Sean. So just to give a quick kind of story here that I thought was really funny when we were talking about this internally as a team yesterday. The team knows that I am a big lover of going out to lunch, especially when we're in person, all in the same place in Boston. And every day it was a question of like, where can I go to eat? And that's such a simple question, but you do want something unique. You want something special. And think of a traveler. They come to your area. The first time there, they're like, where can I go? I'm in this place for the first time. What would I want to do? I want to ask somebody that actually knows what they're talking about to answer that question. If I go online, if I search Google today, and I get an ad for this, an ad for that, it's usually a chain, Chipotle, some other chain restaurant, but it's not authentic. It's not curated. It's kind of, I could have just found that by looking anywhere. There's nothing special about it. But this led us to the idea of what if we could give that hook from the DMO out in a reusable, extendable package that basically could go anywhere, to interface with years of knowledge. We're talking 20 years of knowledge in the Salt Lake case. We're working with Ann Arbor also. We're talking 10 to 15 years of knowledge there. We're talking about things where I'm going to a big football game and I want to know the best bar to go to right afterwards, or what events are coming up the next day. So then this idea started evolving. We already started dipping our toes into the AI space. We also had our Elements product. So why not just start to unify it, create a single pane of glass that could be installed anywhere, that can do all the stuff that both of those products could do, but better, and then more integrated into the way that people are actually using these technology products in the current state and in the future, which is they typically don't like to click. They like to ask questions, get responses, and engage with that content relatively quickly, but they want good content. If they start seeing things like, hey, I can't take the bus in this area to the ski resort because it's summer, but this thing told me to do that. Like, what's up with that? Why is it doing that? And this comes with this genesis that we've been going through with our AI tour guide, which we're evolving into this Compass product. So with that, I'm going to walk through 3 core use cases. I'm going to go pretty quickly, but I think this will give you a flash of what this looks like and how it'll work into the future. But with this, I can always go deeper one-on-ones with your special use cases and talk through how we can implement this with your destination. But what I'll start with is the general visitor side. So on the Salt Lake website, we've been working with Kim to really use our AI tour guide to help plan your trip to Salt Lake. So this really needs to know everything about the area and really go into, hey, I'm coming here for the first time. What should I be looking for? Maybe I want to go skiing. What does that look like? Can I book a hotel? Are there any shows that I should go to? Is it good weather for this? So now we're going to introduce this AI tour guide into this website. So you have all the great content on the website itself, and then we're going to extend that out to basically unify all the different directories, all those subdirectories of like, hey, what if I'm looking for food? What if I'm looking for museums? What if I'm looking for kids' attractions? And put it all on a single pane of glass. Now this works on the website, but it also works on other websites. But the key part here also is it always links back to your destination website. And this is really important because the destination website is the book of truth for this. If it's not on the destination website, well, then I can't really answer it because it's not there. I don't know. I'm just like the person that doesn't understand like that fine nuance of something. I'll avoid answering the question rather than just saying, hey, let me make up something and hopefully the person doesn't notice. The goal of this is to be rooted in your content and then rooted in your knowledge, because that's really what's missing from my point of view and a lot of these AI bots that are out there today. So within here, you have the basics of, hey, if I just want to ask a question, I could go and do that really easily. I could also just start browsing different directories. So like, here's all my dining and attractions of all of Salt Lake. And this goes on. There's a ton of information here. I could say I do my pizza test. So this is something I traditionally do. Whenever I'm in a new area, I want to find a pizza place. Within seconds, we've curated all that content back on the Salt Lake website. I can answer that question really quickly to say, hey, I found like 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 pizza places, and you could go to any one of these. But not only did I serve those back up to you in this quick search, I also took into account the rankings that you have through your simple view instance. So your top tier result, the voted best in Utah, that's going to be your first result because that's really what you've put into your content. This is the best, so I'm going to promote it as the best. This holds true in everything else that I'm going to walk through today, but it's your content. It's your curation. We're going to leverage that to push this content forward. So with that, you have a couple of other options as you get to this page. You can look at a full map of the area. This could be, down at a very high level. Here's the whole area and all the things to do. And then I have that same searchability that I showed before. And then I could filter out all the different pizza places in the area, or I could get hyper local. And I could basically say within a block of where I am, this is the 2 pizza places that I could go to. And with that said, this gets into the nuance of your content's the kink here. So there might be certain things where, like, as I just showed here, this is actually a comedy club. But if I click through here, what you'll see is in this comedy club, they offer selling beers and pizza, but they also will offer events. In the future, what I'm going to show in a little bit is how we tie those events into these businesses also. So you get that full breadth of everything that's happening inside the DMO. So with that said, just going into one of the key use cases that we talked through with Salt Lake, skiing. So if I wanted to do skiing here, this is all their blog content. There's years of this content. It's great information. Maybe I'm like, oh, wow, that's 25 different things. I just want some advice. I could easily just click a button. Now we use our AI engine behind the scenes, and we're able to curate all those 25 different blog posts and find out as much information as possible about skiing in the area. But the big thing here is I'll make it conversational. So here's the high level picture of it. Like there's 4 core ski resorts. This is the best place to ski in the world as per Salt Lake. And it's like, great, wonderful. I've learned a lot, but now I want to do something about it. So it's like, I need some deeper recommendations. I have kids, I'm coming in November or December. How do I go from there? So I could read all this content, but the real key item here is I can now engage with the content. So I could help plan a trip this winter for this event. So now I could get deeper and deeper of actual event planning. But now when I start doing that event planning, it's not going to just give me a generic answer. It's got to ask questions. It's got to follow up. It's got to go into details. Is this for me? Is it for a group of people? Is it for a family of kids? Whatever it takes, it'll use this content behind the scenes, aggregate it together, and give the best answer possible. So as it's going through here, all the power of Playeasy is now behind it. So I have information about upcoming events. I have information about the hotels in the area. I have information about all this great restaurant information. It can take all that and then provide the best answer possible, grounding in the information that's coming from Playeasy plus the CMS integration that we've done. So as it's going through here, it's thinking through, okay, let me start getting into the weeds of it. I could give you hotel recommendations. This is a general price point of it. These are actually bookable hotels that's recommended. When I click through, I can book that hotel for that time period, or I could change it up. But it gives you that ballpark understanding of what this has got to cost you, some places where you could eat, some other information around there. Then you could do something as simple as finding some upcoming events for the same time period. So now we could get into a more multi-dimensional approach of this. It's not just, hey, I did a trip planning, but I could go further and further and further and start really thinking about, okay, I'm in the area. What can I really do here? So as it's going through this, there's a whole lot of information that Salt Lake has accumulated over the years. We're diving deep into it, pulling out the gems. But one of the biggest things that's different than what we had earlier is the ability to have this event information for all general events inside of both our AI. And then as I bounce back out to that home screen here, we do now have the ability to surface an entire event calendar. Now, this is way beyond sports because this is every local thing that you could imagine that's happening in Salt Lake for the foreseeable future. So I could go into here, I could look for Halloween, because that's coming up this week. And here's all the events happening in the community related to Halloween. I could go deeper and deeper. I could have a conversation about this with AI, but for the sake of time, I'm going to jump onto a couple other use cases with our partners at Ann Arbor, and then one last use case to show how this works on an event. So with that, with Ann Arbor, what we're going through is for an upcoming Michigan game. This weekend, actually, we are implementing our AI as a event microsite AI bot. And this is really going to be able to surface all the great things around the attraction itself. So I'm going to this event, what's the closest restaurant? I could look at that map again, find out, okay, what's in walking distance of food and drink options. And like literally down the block, I could find all these different things, and they all link back again to the Ann Arbor website. So while it's the same technology, it's going to be a very different experience in Ann Arbor versus Salt Lake. Different content, different ways of interacting with it because they might have different things highlighted here, but the ideas remain the same. Take all your content and be able to surface through here. So the last thing I'll show also on here is that in the case of, let's say I'm working with a rights holder and I have an upcoming sports event coming in the next couple of days, and I want to be able to provide that embedded experience of, in this case, Visit Boise on this hockey event. You would be able to easily, with 2 lines of code, install this on that website. To be able to open it back up, you have the same experience of bringing it all back to the Boise content. And then I would have all the same level of interactions. I could go through the map, all the things to do in the area. And in this case, there might be hotel specials. So if I go through here, I'm like, okay, I need to book a room for this. So let's go through it. The AI will actually understand that context. You're here for this event. That's not going to allow you to do general hotel bookings. So I could go in here and basically get one room for the events. And then as it does this, it'll be able to surface back up that special event room block information. And if we did have, let's say, hotel room rates available, live rates, it would use that also. It merges it both together, but it really will push the user to be basically like, this is the specials for this event. Book these hotels, they're exclusive rates to you. You could go and get the best things available based on your requirements.